And I can honestly say right now that the only reason I am still alive and Angie Stone is not is because I stopped taking Schluminati gigs.
Real life, real life, though. If it ain't real life,
If it ain't real life, it just ain't real. Real life street stars. You know what time it is. What are some of the things, when we talk about ties to the Illuminati and the things of promising in the industry, what are some of the things they promised you as you were coming into the world of entertainment?
All of it,
Like anything specific
the
or
world,
wow.
that's what they promise you. Kind of reminds me of Yeshua when he was in the desert on his 40 days and 40 nights and he was fasting. And, the devil waited until them late days. He didn't show up when he was fresh off some pita bread and fish,
Mm.
He waited for him to get at his tiredest, and he waited for him to get at what he thought was his weakest because he thought he would be able to trick him into accepting something that he really couldn't offer. It pissed him off when Yeshua looked at him and was like, how can you offer me what belongs to my father? It's kind of like that in the music industry. Matter of fact, it's exactly like that. You
Wow.
sign and you talk about all the great things you want to do, but then they talk about marketing, and then they talk about this, and they talk about the demographics, and who your competition is supposed to be, and these ad brand tie-ins, and this, that, and the other, and all of this. They don't care about the music.
Hmm.
So imagine what that's like. You're making all that sacrifice, all of that effort, all of that energy that you poured into getting to that point, and then you have your first lunch, and then it's the after party, and then they want to offer you to, you know what I mean? And then it's, hey, why don't you come back to our house? They take you on a ride. Look, all you have to do is, it's constant gaslighting. That's what the industry does to artists. And then they make you believe that what you believed in really wasn't that important. Because what really matters is this. Now, you can say some of that stuff. That's great. But we need you to really say this. That's how it goes. And meanwhile, all of that influence tricked a bunch of kids in New York, I believe, to go to a Rock Nation school
Yeah.
where they study the Book of Hove. I don't know
Yeah.
what, because see, personally, that HOV, it means something different to me. I'm not stupid enough to call a human being any name that belongs to God. That's just crazy.
H to the Izzo.
I had to sing that, didn't I?
Yeah. Yeah, he did. He did. Beautifully, might I add, but yeah, he did.
That's how good I am at what I do. I can even make what I don't want to do sound good.
Wow, that's real. Then that takes me to Carrie Hilson. She just did an interview with the
Kim
Breakfast Club.
Pie,
Yeah, yeah. To where she talked about
Peachy Man.
yeah, man. I'm telling you,
By the way, congratulations, guys, to your platform. I've never seen a Peachy Man ad
a peachy.
on that come up. Yeah. You
There you
ever
go.
heard about the Peachy Man?
No, please, please.
They're 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 products for power bottoms.
Oh shit.
The slogan is making bottoming easier.
Oh,
It's like a sitz bath for your ass for men.
I have not seen or heard of that, man. We
Yeah.
it's
And they,
25.
like I
Oh,
said, congratulations.
it popped
That
up on it.
guy, that Anton Daniels guy, I done seen that ad pop up on his channel about at least 5, 6 times.
Boy, these algorithms.
Well, the thing is The ad tie-ins is based on the demographics of who watches your shows.
That is very true. That is very true.
A lot of peachy men.
Oh man.
A lot of peachy men must be over there.
Oh man. So let me get your take on, Carrie Hilson said
A
she never
and D ointment.
God damn, God damn. Damn. Um, Jack. So no. So Carrie said she never wanted to diss Beyonce, and that the singer at the time she didn't disclose it, but Esther Dean turned out to be the writer of "You Turning Me Out" remix, where she's dissing Beyonce and others. And she said she fought that to not do that, and they said if she didn't do that, she would never have a career, and therefore she did it. This Beyonce, and we see what happened to her career after that anyway. And then now Esther Dean has just come forward as of like today, and she confirmed like, yeah, I wrote that, and yes, Carrie Hilson fell on that sword back then. Is that something that even either you dealt with, or is that something that happens in the
Of
industry where
course.
you're gonna go by their agenda or else?
It happened to me. It happened to Maya. They tried to do it to Aaliyah. They're always asking you to do that. Their little humiliation rituals. Not because it's necessary. They just want to see what they can get you to do.
Wow.
Most of the time, the things that they're promising you, they're lying about. They're never gonna give it to you. They just want to see how bad you want it. It's a dog fight. It's Mandingo fighting.
Right.
All plantation politics still happening in pop culture today. It's frightening.
Yes. No, without question. Uh, and real quick before we get off Diddy fully until we get back on him,
How
no
can we
Diddy,
get off Diddy?
no Diddy. Uh,
How can we get off Diddy?
um, Uh, I'll be sure it's somebody that at the time when you were doing your run back in 2024, you were waiting to hear from him. You knew he was going to say something. He finally waited to do the Diddy documentary to finally speak, and I think TMZ put out, or I forgot who put it out, but there was a documentary kind of put out on the downfall of Diddy, and I'll be sure was part of that speaking his
Yes.
story. For you to see him, because again, he was very calculated on who he spoke with, whether it's real life or whoever it was. He was calculated as far as who he was going to speak with, but he ended up finally speaking and it going on a documentary. What credit do you give him for coming out and at least starting the conversation?
What do you mean? What credit?
Yes,
All credit.
there you go.
One of the best moments for me was seeing that documentary and watching how the footage that they took from this blue couch lined up perfectly with everything he had to say. Why did that not hit?
That
How
I
didn't that
don't know.
hit different?
Right.
I'm just
And you said it on your platform too. Like, why aren't as we're closing in on this trial? Why isn't
so
there more?
how didn't that hit different?
Right.
Because as much as I love, I'll be sure, much as I love Mr. Albert Brown Sr., father, grandfather, amazing artist, incredible writer, wonderful entrepreneur, and radio personality. It's so funny when I talk about all of the things that my friend, I'll be sure, is. It's funny, everyone forgets that he did all of these things. Like it's sad that not until that documentary, people didn't weren't even acknowledging that he was an original investor, owner in Uptown Records that got demolished. So bad boy. They just strip away everything. They lie about everything. But for me
Yeah.
to say what I said, and me and that man have not been in each other's presence since Kim and Giovanni passed away. And not because we don't like each other. It's just not safe. It's not safe.
Wow.
But for me to be able to say the same things that he was saying, and we haven't even been in each other's presence, how did that hit different?
There you go.
It's like they just don't want to accept the truth. Angie passes away.
Yeah. That right there.
Al said something. I said something. We were attacked immediately.
Right.
Why? You want to know what else I find funny? We got attacked for speaking about the truth. But all of those other entertainers, ain't none of them say nothing. Especially the females who were mentored and influenced by Angie Stone, no different than me. Not as much. I was truly influenced by Betty Wright, but then again, Angie Stone was influenced by her. So I guess it's all the same thing.
Can you
That
speak on?
woman,
Yeah.
that
Can you
woman
speak on that?
created, that woman was the birthplace of neo soul. One of the best neo soul albums of all time is one of the first, Brown Sugar.
Come on. Come on.
That was Angie. They gave all the credit to Michael, but that was Angie. Her arrangements, lyrics, influence, choice of tracks, direction. And she could do all of those things. I was just watching a clip on Instagram of her and her son that she had with D'Angelo when they were watching the How Does It Feel video together.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see that?
I saw that.
I cried.
Yes. Yes.
That boy didn't even know about the tattoos of him on his own father's body. How not?
Wow.
How did your mama have to tell you about a tattoo that your daddy got put on him when you was born? How did your mama have to tell you about that when you was grown?
Yeah.
Watching your daddy's video.
It goes to show.
She could sit there and she could pick apart everything. She knew that man inside and out. But when I heard her say when she saw that video, she knew that she had lost the love of her life. That
Yeah. Mm.
and he ain't show up to not name funeral. Not name.
It-
Not name. There's two.
right. The details surrounding her death. Do you question anything that happened there?
I am saying, in my opinion, and all of my investigative knowledge for all of the years that I have been in the industry, investigating the industry, and all the harm that it does, it looks like a sacrifice to me. It looks like a sacrifice to me.
Okay.
Period.
Hmm.
Why do you need NDAs for an accident? Haven't I asked that question on this couch before?
right, right.
Why do you need an NDA for an accident? If it's an accident, it's an accident. Anything said or brought about, there should be no pushback. There should be no hush hush. A lot of people going missing. That driver's missing now too. He
Right.
went to work, turned in his truck, said he was traumatized, and just disappeared. Aaron Hall style.
Oh, not Aaron Hall. Dang, dang, dang.
Maybe they with Cuba.
Wait, wait,
Lil
where?
Justin.
Where is Aaron Hall? Uh,
They've been looking for that man. They done tried to serve him and find him at like 5, 6 different addresses. Like over the course of 5, 6 years, they can't find him nowhere.
he was very braggadocious about certain things back in the day that happened that now look
Why wouldn't
very
he be?
suspect.
Why wouldn't he be? That was the cost
That
of doing business. That was the way it was. See, I think when people see these entertainers and come out and say these things, and they're like, oh my God. Like, you would have thought that after years of listening to me, they wouldn't be so shocked still. All of this stuff was normal behavior behind the velvet rope. It was normal behavior. Demon time was normal behavior. And the worse you behaved, the more you were praised.
at church on Sunday.
For all that's worth, you know, I'm beefing with the churches.
Not the church is not plural.
Yeah, all of them.
Okay. Okay.
All of them, cat. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with the MK Ultra program. I'm done. I'm checking out. If I come into your house of worship and you got a white Jesus on your wall, I'm walking out.
Why are you walking out after
Because
seeing a white
Yeshua
Jesus?
wasn't white.
I
He
mean,
wasn't white.
we'll leave it right there.
He's a black man.
Yeah, but hey, you have
It
no
said it
argument
in
from
the
us.
Bible. He had hair like wool.
Yes, there you go.
And his feet coming out of his robe was bronze.
So to put a white man as Jesus, is that just blasphemy? Is
Absolutely. Not
there you
only
go.
that, it's breaking one of the 10th commandments. Thou shalt not bear false witness. It's funny as I'm studying the scriptures more these days, it's so funny to see how people just mess it all up or make it something completely different than what it actually said. Thou shalt not bear false witness means do not lie on someone else. You're not a witness to yourself, are you?
There you go.
Can you be a witness to yourself?
No.
Because if you could be a witness to yourself, there's a lot of people that could just go to court, say whatever they want to say on the stand,
Invite themselves in
and
to
get off.
right.
You can only be a witness to something or someone else. Thou shalt not, do not bear, meaning give, false witness. Thou shalt not bear false witness. That means if you want to lie on yourself, you can lie on yourself all day long. If you want to tell people you're a pink giraffe and that you fart Skittles, you can do whatever you want. Because guess what? What you say out of your mouth, you have to live with. It's your instant karma. Whatever you put out, that will come back. God don't need to judge you. You already judged yourself. But to lie on another, God made that a law. Not thou shalt not be homosexual. Thou shalt not bear false witness.
Oh, there you go.
Anybody who can paint Yeshua as anything other than what he is a lie. And they lying on him. They're bearing false witness. Does that not add up?
It's like 1, 2, 3.
I'm just saying, I just took the sentence. See, and that's the beautiful thing about me being a writer and a brilliant orator and just the appreciation that I have for word.
Yes.
See, most people don't even realize they breaking God's laws, but they worried about jaywalking.
Come on. Come on.
I'm just saying. Man has thousands of laws, and people can't seem to. God only got 10. 10 laws.
There you go.
How the hell can humanity keep up with 10?
A lot of them humanity don't like.
That part
Come on.
sounds like you got a God problem. Maybe y'all should stop hating on me because I choose to believe him, follow him, and serve him. I tell people this all the time. If you hate me, you hate God. I'm just doing what he told me.
There
Don't
you
don't
go.
don't unalive the messenger.
And real quick, Jag, D'Angelo,
What's
him and
that,
the
Michael?
him and the Roots.
Yeah, they're going on tour. It got announced the day
It-
that Angie was gone
yeah,
and the day that they tried to take me.
yeah. What does that say? Like that right there is it raises antennas.
Raises antennas. Police were dispatched to my studio where I did not physically live, but while we filmed, I would stay while we were working and then go home. There's a lot of things about my life that I can't tell people about. And nor do I need to explain.
Right.
But my God, when uh like this short, I don't know if you've seen it yet, Joker. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Cause I want to make sure it can be heard. I got a speaker right here, my bad.
No worries.
Okay. So
Hold on. All right. These visitors came knocking on the Dizzo, Poe in the Mizzo. Not a first time for me. Knocking on the wrong Dizzo. And then I was actually there getting some stuff prepped for work. So they confronted me when they left, and this is the confrontation when they confronted me. Hello? Hello? Hey, how you doing, sir? Any kind of Jacqueline here? Right. There was no Jacqueline that lived there. Like I guess you not. That's the same night that Angie Stone was unalive.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, all right.
It's right there. It's right there. Um. Again, damn antennas. Raise the alarm. Shit. That's crazy. That's crazy.
them tickets ain't gonna sell the way y'all want them to. You miss me. Meet me.
There you go.
And I can honestly say right now that the only reason I am still alive and Angie Stone is not is because I stopped taking Schluminati gigs. The last Schluminati gig that I did where I chose to go in for the booking was with Keto Gentry in Houston. I thought me and Keto was okay.
Mm.
The things that people will do for money.
For the love of money.
That was the last show that Goomba came out of town with me on. He's terrified after we left there. Totally triggered.
Mm.
When that light fixture came falling from the ceiling where I was supposed to be standing. But because of my intuitive nature, I always change. the stage position on the day that we get there, just in case. He was sitting at that keyboard, that young man, very talented young man from Dallas, and almost got his head taken off by that thing. Thank God he was young and fast.
Yeah. Remember.
That's where I was supposed to be standing. Bang like that on the head with an object that large could have taken me out instantly with the right impact and pressure.
Wow.
And we still did the gig. It was sold out.
True artist.
It was sold out, and yet only 105 people showed up. Like barely a quarter of the people that were supposed. So all the tickets were bought, sold out. But only 120 people showed up for a New Year's Eve show where they paid over $100 for their ticket. And you telling me 75% of them just decided they wasn't going to come?
There you go. So
I
Jag,
guess the 100 people were just supposed to be witnesses, huh? Like at Angie's show.
wow.
It's funny. Her last show reminds me of that last show I did with Keto Gentry. When I asked Keto, what's going on? Who are the sound company? And he finally told me it was Carl Thomas's people. That's when I knew.
No.
Keto, I'm sure you're not going to be happy with me saying all of this out loud. Because it's really going to just make you look like, you know. That was all right after Takeoff passed away. And I kept telling everybody that I believed Rock Nation was behind it. When they couldn't sabotage the show, Carl Thomas's sound company just up and quit in the middle of the gig while I was still performing. We hadn't even made it through the first set. We had 2 sets that night. We didn't even get to touch the second one. They literally walked out while I was in the middle of performing and people were dancing and having a great time. When asked why,
Sure.
we didn't know we were supposed to be here this long. What do you mean you didn't know you were supposed to be here this long? You were hired to do the sound for an entire show. I didn't know sound companies had meters. What do you mean you didn't know you were supposed to be there that long? Your job was to be there the whole night. The only reason you would be saying that or thinking that is if you knew that the show wasn't supposed to happen.
Wow. You know, speaking of Jag, you know,
Carl Thomas, me and you have unfinished business. You Diddy do-wop bop ho.
Carl Thomas.
It was his sound crew
Yeah, yeah.
and his people that fixed that light fixture. I guess Diddy called. Jigga Man made sure that Keto got in line. Thing 1 and thing 2. Like Gene Deal said, Jay-Z and Diddy is a package deal. And Will Smith, you copying Jay-Z saying that you and Diddy wasn't ever friends, that was corny. That was almost as corny as Erica Wright, Bad You, creating that weird What was it? The pussy juice.
Now, Jack, it
And
is
and the bitch
interesting.
said and the bitch said that she put her own bodily fluids in it. See, the problem that I got with that is that Gwyneth Paltrow did it first, and it sold more, much more popular than that pussy juice business.
Now,
You
aren't y'all
decide,
cousins?
huh?
Aren't y'all cousins by way of like the rights? Or
Yeah, evil is as evil does. I don't know about it. She a witch, allegedly.
now she just went on stage with like a Erica just went on stage with a huge BBL bodysuit and
Yeah, I
like,
did commentary on it.
oh really? What was your thoughts on that? I mean, just
NPR just struck me
oh
because of
shit,
that video.
oh shit,
I didn't even play no sound. I did fair use commentary the whole 9 yards, and they struck me for it.
oh damn, the powers that be.
The tiny desk coming after the big Jaguar. Ooh, I'm so scared. My music series gonna trash y'all.
Hey,
I don't
hey.
need to come sing in no library.
No, but Jack, seriously, all the Erica Badu, I don't want to call it hate, but criticism.
It's not hate. These are
It,
facts.
you're very critical of.
No, I'm not critical. I'm downright holding that hoe accountable for every terrible thing she's ever done. Why is that a bad thing?
Oh yeah, no, you pick and choose your battles.
She's a liar and a thief and a bride and the bride and groom running around snatching up people's umbilical cords and placenta, doing God knows what with it. I hope that wasn't in that pussy juice. Because if so, everybody's walking around with Summer Walker or Fat or Tiana Taylor's. That's why I told everybody when it came out, don't get that shit that got the COVID in it. That's what I said. I'm sorry, you might have to bleep that out. You know they sensitive about everything.
I mean, hey, we just speak your truth. Now I do have to ask because it seems like at one point in time last year, you were the only person that had disdain for Jay-Z, and Kanye West just went on a rant on Twitter
Yeah.
to say F Jay-Z and his wife.
He been
And
watching a lot of Jaguar Wright videos, boy. I tell you.
hey, I'm trying to stay cause hey,
He
you
sound like he almost sound like me.
hey, he must be on something.
But you want to know what's funny? Didn't I say on this couch that Kanye be ordered, but he needs somebody to interpret. He's getting better.
He's nearing the goalposts. Yeah, what are your thoughts when you see finally that he's speaking his truth? Because Jay-Z's his man. I mean, that's his man, and for him to say that, it makes the whole world take notice. I mean, he apologized and he took back the apology. Like, nah, I'm not sorry.
Yeah.
Do you feel that when even Kanye speaks, because he's talking about Taylor Swift, he
Hmm?
brings up Iggy Azalea,
Bieber.
yeah, Bieber. He's bringing up a lot. Should we be listening to Kanye like really closely right now in those not even cryptic tweets, just whatever he tweets?
I think everyone should be paying attention. The question is, why is nobody asking what they're planning to do?
Mm.
Because right now, if I hear another person say that he's not mentally well, I got a feeling he's going to be meeting somebody like Sabrina Marcy, or Lou Taylor.
Yeah, hey.
That's what it sounds like. And now with things with Bianca Censore and the this and the that and the naked and the cellophane outfit, she didn't even get a ticket. She should have been arrested for that.
Didn't even
She didn't get a ticket.
let you do that.
Let me do nothing.
Right.
And
Hell no.
they'll make something up.
Didn't even get a ticket. But what do you feel that was him saying? Like for him to parade her in front of the masses like that, no security, walking to the venue.
He wanted to upstage the Jigga Man and the Baby, and he did.
Mm, mm.
Let me tell you something
Then
right now. People can only do what you let them do.
nah, it's facts.
That girl ain't getting no sympathy from me. She been running around naked everywhere else.
Thanks.
Why does everybody got to turn? Oh, look at what he made her do. No, you need that for the story, so you can find a way to discredit him and not have to listen to him.
Mm.
I mean, that girl is that girl.
I mean, but Kanye kind of does it to himself when he puts on the swastika or he puts on the black. What people look at, they interpret as a Klan's hat to give a
No,
message.
it
It
no, it
does.
was. It was exactly that, and I understood it for what it was.
It, does he lose the message of what he's trying to say when he does the antics
I
to
don't.
make you look at him?
I don't know. I don't think he did it. Honestly, in my opinion, it looked like symbolism.
It looked like symbolism.
Because the truth is, all of them are working for slave masters. So why can't everybody just treat him with the same respect?
Mm.
Since y'all like slave masters so much, well then let me put it on then. That's how it read to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what, that made more sense to me than what Erica Badu had to say about the advice to the women in the industry and all of that suck hard nonsense.
Yeah, to tell the women to suck hard or to what's good advice, suck harder or suck hard or yeah, it's kind of wild. Again, for
No, that's not kind of wild.
yeah, that's not kind of wild. That is the definition of
That's
wild.
that's Diana Ross. I just crashed into the dry cleaner and jumped like Herschel Walker over the counter and tried to hide under a bunch of fur coats like nobody just seen what I done. Like that's that kind of crazy.
But maybe she's speaking her truth.
What truth would that be?
That you gotta suck hard. But I don't know. I don't know her truth.
You want to know what's sad? Watching all the people that try to make it something.
Yo, yeah.
Like watching people trying to make crazy make sense is funny to me. They wrap their mind. I'm like, I wish you would put this much thought into your own life. You might be somebody.
Boom.
Like the way they go out of their way to think for these people after they say some crazy stuff and do some crazy stuff. Oh no, well see what that really what see what they were really trying to get us to understand is what? Your mouth ain't open wide enough. Like what? Make it make sense. Fuck you memes. But seriously,
Mm. Maybe they're looking to protect their idols.
why? They're not supposed to have any. That's another one of God's laws.
False idols.
Thou shalt not bow down or worship any other God than me. You're not supposed to have idols, idiots.
There you go.
Part of the reason why I never wanted to be on that show, American Idol.
Come
The
on.
title alone is blasphemous. Nobody's supposed to have an idol. God is a jealous God. Serve him, or you will meet your doom.
Correct. So, you know, you came on our couch, Jag, and you sat down with Orlando Brown. Thank you for that, by the way. That was an impromptu moment that just turned into something else where both of you guys sung a song
Yeah.
that was a duet of the ages, Twitter, it went crazy. It went crazy
Yes.
to where
Thank
Orlando
God
Brown.
something good came out of that moment.
Right, so something good came out. And Orlando Brown just released that song and video about a couple of weeks ago. And can you tell us what happened to a version I heard of y'all were trying to work on something together?
I don't know
Did
what happened. You started going crazy and getting beat up by guys that just got out of jail. Or maybe I do know what happened.
Mm. Oh, you went mute. Oh, you weren't supposed to say it. Now go ahead, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Now say it again. Say it
I
again.
told that boy, don't try me.
Mm.
Everybody's still worrying about what I whispered in his ear, aren't they?
They still want to know, Jack. What did you whisper in his ear?
Ask him.
It,
I tell
it,
you what, Must have worked like a charm. Look at him.
Oh, man.
There's nothing like watching a ball of yarn unravel.
Mm.
So unpredictable and still entertaining.
I'm curious. Would you have wanted to do that track with him? Put that part of your musical catalog.
Mm. I think Orlando's best where he is, in purgatory. And I wish him all the best. But if you ever play with me or any of my children ever again, what I whisper to the universe will do more harm than what I already done.
Mm.
Don't ever in your life play with a real one.
Come on.
I mean you no harm. Well, maybe that's not completely true. But you made your choice. I wonder what old Orlando's gonna do next. I got a
Hey.
feeling he's about to crash out in about 45 days. I got a feeling in about 45 days, Orlando Brown is going to show the world a side of himself that I don't know if he's ready for.
Oh. Message.
Your
Oh,
days are counted. Live
wow.
them well. Who you become on the other side of that 45 days is up to you. But I promise you this, it'll go viral.
Oh, wow. That only makes us more curious what you whisper, but
Ask
I,
him.
I digress. I digress.
Ask him.
we, we'll try. We'll try. Something else that happened last year was you broke down the beef between Kendrick and Drake as it happened,
Yeah.
and you spoke on the greatness of Kendrick, and a lot of people weren't hearing you because they were too busy being into the Drake zone of things, to where when that Super Bowl moment happened and Kendrick looked at that camera and said, "Say Drake." And the whole world started chanting A minor. Where were you at when that happened? What was your thoughts just to see that take place? And what were your thoughts of his performance?
It was brilliant. It was probably one of the most selfless acts that I've ever seen an artist do full out there, out front, um, in a time where most people make it all about themselves. Not only did he give us a hip hop opera from a song that still slaps, like it just came out last week, he gave us black art, black culture, and not only that, it was wholesome. It was still stylish, it was still trendy, but we didn't see nobody naked. I think the most skin we saw was with Serena.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They
It was
call
so respectable. It was a Black history lesson at the beginning of Black History Month.
yes, yes,
And nobody really acknowledged that, not even the NAACP.
because he hid it. He hid the messages. You got
No,
to
he
be,
didn't. He made sure you could see it because if he had a told people what he was doing, they wouldn't have let him do it.
man. Come on.
They wouldn't have let him do it, which is why it was kind of weird that Akademiks was sitting over there leaking what the performance was looking like before it happened. What's wrong with him?
Trying to help a friend.
Who? Who was he trying to help? He needs to help
Drizzy.
himself. He needs to help himself. Log off of Discord. Because, see, that's the thing that I'm still surprised everybody got past so fast.
Yeah, they got past that real quick.
At the top of the year, he was caught G Unity, 15-year-old boy, a young man 20 years younger than him, on Discord with an audience watching. How is he still around?
That is interesting how they pick and choose
No, 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 no,
who's
no, no, no,
canceled.
no, 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 no. 1 second, you was about to be in full on trouble, and then all of a sudden you take a shot at Kendrick, and then everybody forgets.
Mm,
How did that happen? Please, somebody make it make sense to me.
interesting. Yeah, you.
It sounds like your old boy said, "Hey, we need you to do this one, and we'll you know, what I mean, we'll take care of that." I wonder if that kid's been paid yet and has an NDA.
Mm, man.
I wonder. The simple fact that after that, people still showed up to his channel.
Yeah,
For what?
yeah, yeah.
He acted Diddy.
And it's crazy because even Jonathan Hay came on and he spoke on we should be watching Jack Harlow, situation with Johnny Depp and things of that nature. Are we as a black community only focused on the destruction of our own people versus watching what these others are doing? Or do you feel like we're more focused on our
We
own?
should have been watching Marilyn Manson closer before he started mentoring Travis Scott.
Hey, uh, mm,
Nope,
mm,
nope. Everybody's still trying to pretend like Astro World didn't happen either.
yeah, yeah, that is
How
fact.
many of those cases was Tony Busby handling?
Oh yes. Speaking of Tony Busby, you have to at least acknowledge, Jack, that you're seeing from Ron and to Lil Ron and to Busby, a lot of these Diddy and Jay-Z lawsuits, some of them are falling apart. Um,
No,
they're
they're not falling apart.
okay. Go ahead, please.
Those cases were never falling apart. If they were falling apart, we would have never heard about them. The judge wouldn't have. It wouldn't have went down.
Mhm.
No, those cases were torn apart, ripped to shreds.
Okay.
Anna Kane being forced to come forward because of Lamisha Fuller.
Mm,
Anna Kane was Jane Doe status until Lamisha Fuller sat here on multiple platforms of 500,000 subscribers or more. If you look at all of the views with her saying that she was the girl in the D&G shirt, we're talking at least 10 million views altogether, all platforms and the clips and all of that. That's 10 million eyes that bought that crap. And then she gets busted as a liar. She was rewarded with a YouTube channel after Adria English and her both discussed on a recording about what was going on in Yellow Beezy's trap house with little people and pharmaceuticals and pows. And how Lamisha Fuller's boyfriend threatened to unalive her and Adria if they kept running their mouth about what was going on in Yellow Beezy's house. Also have that recorded as well.
mm.
Yeah.
S-
Yellow Beezy Rock Nation, you know.
Yeah, and give me your take because again, Dallas is a home of yours to where
It
Mo
is.
Mo3 case has been open for almost 5 years, and now we're seeing not only more individuals come forward, but Yella Beezy getting indicted for murder for hire.
Which he should be.
Yeah, give me your take on that because it rocks the city. It does rock the it does rock the entertainment industry in the city. Like what's next? What's going? Like what's really what's this all worth at the end of the day?
That boy and others preyed on MO3, was afraid of his rising star. They knew they were going to be eclipsed by him. I mean, I got to shout out to a couple of some of the content creators that I listen to. One woman was saying, she was like, now they got him back out on tour because he got to earn that money because he broke. He had to put up everything that he got to get bond. Everything. They had to sell jewelry, all kinds of stuff. And he back on tour. That's on me, but
It- I
does
said, what?
anybody really want to see him perform that record anymore? That woman was right. I gotta give it to her. Hats off to you, man. I don't want to hear that shit. That shit was played out the year it came out. It only stayed on the radio because of where he was from and who he was connected to. I tell you one thing though, I got to know Mo3's catalog after he passed away. Yellow Beezy couldn't put a finger on his talent. Can anyone disagree?
Yeah, I would say, what does it say
It would
when
take
you're
100 Yellow Beezys and you would still need a touch from God to get close to what Mo3 was starting to push out. His career was cut so short. He really did have a lot to offer. I wonder what he said no to behind the scenes.
Mm.
Because what they did to him and the way they lined that up, all of those cars, they staged it.
Mm.
Swoop and stops. They put effort into this. They were on social media. Send me your cash app. Send me your cash app. That's how stupid these people were.
Mm.
They did all of this right out in the open.
Allegedly.
Uh, I, I'm looking at the evidence.
Yeah, yeah. I want to ask because you've had ops, of course. And what does it say when you're like you've
Oh,
before you start coming on like the blue couch and before you start speaking on this stuff? It's like your voice wasn't that big. What happens when you like someone sees like, okay, we're gonna ignore her because her voice isn't that big, but you start kind of gaining traction and you start getting bigger and bigger that people look to stop you now, like, oh shit, they're coming up. We gotta silence them.
yeah.
You experienced this.
I I'm living with it right now.
Yeah.
I've had to move 15 times in 5 years,
Mm.
which is why starting a couple years ago, I stopped living in one place anymore.
Mm.
I can't afford for, like, I'm not scared of anything. I fear me more than I fear any of them. And I fear God most of all. But you got to learn how to have respect for your enemies. And not respect them like, oh, well, they're decent people or what. Not like that. Have respect for what they're prepared to do to you. Show that some respect
Mm.
because they mean it. So I make sure I earn theirs because I mean everything I say.
and you're a very polarizing figure. Can you have any advice for Charleston White when he says, after the little girl that was, you know, killed out here in Fort Worth, and then his video drops and it's showing him. They always like to put a snitch jacket on him, but when he says after the little girl and starts getting flack for saying that to a child, what advice do you have for a polarizing figure, the polarizing figure?
I think he has a breathing problem. I think Charleston White has a breathing problem. I do.
Hmm.
I think he should just stop doing it. Stop breathing.
Damn, son.
That's your problem. You're still breathing. You need to stop because you are a cesspool of hate. You are a small little cowardly person. And if you think anybody believes that you got hemmed up the way you got hemmed up with no bond and you just walked away, if anybody wants to believe that's true, don't be stupid. You finna get everything you got coming to you. I really ain't even gotta say nothing on you, G. I do know one thing. If I ever get 5 minutes and there's no cameras present, I'm gonna make sure you have two glass eyes. Cause you really are a piece of shit. He helped rebel rouse all of these youngins with all of his talk. He's just as big a part of the problem as the drug dealers he says is the problem. Him.
Yeah,
What do I know? I'm just the Diddy bitch.
this the part where we
Isn't that what
say
he
like,
called me? I'm the Diddy bitch.
oh damn, damn.
Ain't nobody talking about that no more until Diddy got locked up a week later, you goofy fuck. Go die and take Trash and K with you.
it, it
Y'all
also
should
makes.
really stop pretending like y'all not cool in the backdrop too. It's kind of corny.
Yeah, no, I think they did an interview together, and she apologized for trying to ruin his life and out his people, and he accepted the apology, and I guess it's kumbaya.
Birds of a feather flock together, or maybe allegedly, CIs can be cordial. Allegedly.
Mhm. So, do you mind if I ask you, Jag? Then, even in our hiatus, as far as getting you at the top at the end of the year, you did a lot of business with Sean Atwood. How did that relationship start? How did it just kind of get working with someone over there, and giving these stories to that side? How was that for you as far as getting your voice? I mean, again, your voice gets heard. If you're living on a rock, you probably haven't heard of Jaguar Wright, but to get to that side of things, how was that for you as far as that audience embracing you?
Number one, the Atwood audience always treated me with respect, the same respect that I get over at Popcorn Planet with Andy Signore. Salute, Andy. Um, it was very fine. There was nothing wrong with the audience. You know, oh fuck it.
Real life source.
Tell you what I know. Any man that goes to jail and starts running with the Aryan Nation for protection and for community, that's blood in, blood out, babe.
Hmm.
And considering the uniqueness of your demeanor, I have no doubt you got punked. No doubt. with those guys and you being from overseas and you having problems with someone who was legit mafia, yeah, you would have had to. What else did you have to offer? But the thing is, when I think about the way his platform almost single handedly destroyed some of the most important Diddy cases, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Or the meddling with my content, sending so-called people from your platform to support and to be there and to defend because y'all believe in me and whoopty whoopty woo. And yet all five people that came from you, every last one of them, not only clout chased, opted up against me, and then started using me for negative content and commentary. Some of those people have wrenches in my channel. They did sabotages on all the platforms that are affiliated with mine, told lies, did all kinds of stuff. And his booker, who started the whole race war in the sectors, has ties to law enforcement. And his nephew just got a job. He's a deputy sheriff, something.
It- it- when that goes to, when you speak on Tammy, uh even that right there, as far as your relationship to Tammy and the situation.
I don't know. I can't even really. It's I gave a deadline. If I don't hear anything by tomorrow, then I have no choice but to come forward and give my final summation on the whole thing, and also offer all of the people who wanted to come and confront you on the Jaguar Wright show an opportunity to give their side of their relationship with you. Because at this point in time, you had a real story. You said you wanted to come forward, but then you you have a fight with your lesbian lover who you said is abusive and makes you go down on her while she still smells like urine, even though she just got out the shower. Who tells you you ain't shit without makeup on, and that she can get any bitch she want. That plays you down in public and doesn't even refer to you as her significant other, just her peoples. And who drove you out of the place where you were staying with her when she was demanding that you pay her bills there while you were paying your bills in Mexico. Total financial abuse and manipulation, control. Pushed you, accosted you, harassed you, took all of your stuff, threw it in trash bags, and threw you out in the street in the middle of the night while you was drunk. You were driving. You had to pull over and you needed someone to come help you. And our platform did. Made sure you didn't have to drive around drunk. Took you back to the studio where it was safe. You had a bed. You had your own bathroom. You were provided with hygienes. I'm a chef. I cooked 2 meals for you while I was in your presence. The best one, you were too guilty to eat. The brunch you scarfed down in our face. We were supposed to be filming that evening. You said you had to go meet up with a friend, just some guy friend, and then you give us an address to the location that you said you were going to that you never went to because you were never going there. Meanwhile, the counselor that we place with you to help you deal with all of the stress that can come along with exposure and to make sure that you were able to do this safely and without too much extra trauma. You called her and asked her to help you negotiate your way back into a volatile situation, which, by the way, when you left, you keyed up that woman's car down to the primer. You was in such a rush to get away. You left your phone, your main phone, the phone you never let that out of your sight. Then all of a sudden your social media starts being managed from something other than that phone. And then you had just paid the bill, but the phone got disconnected. And if I didn't love God as much as I did, I would tell everybody what I found in that phone. The plans that were made in that phone, the threats, the harassment, all of it. And then you disappear. And you don't speak to nobody. You don't return no phone calls. We were calling the phone, but then we realized the phone was still there. And then when we called the other number, it was very strange. And you send weird text messages, not the way you speak, the way Amber speaks, but not the way you speak. And all of a sudden you need to take a retreat and it's just too much. And you just want to go back to a private life and you don't want to do the public thing. You want to step out of the public eye, but you just did an interview with an Instagrammer on Monday. Y'all are intelligent gentlemen. What does that sound like to you?
Forethought. Forethought.
Because if you were running away from that situation that was so bad, you had to call the police. You was afraid somebody was going to try to get you locked up. You was cussed. You was pushed. You was treated terribly. Your stuff was thrown out in the street. All of this stuff going on. You so mad. You key up the chick car. Why would you want to go back? 2 days later, why would you want to go back? And more importantly, if we had known that you played these kind of games, we would have just let you sleep in your Jeep like you do every other time that woman is throwing you out. If this was just a lover's quarrel and going back and forth, why did we need to come and get you in the middle of the night? Why did you need to be rescued? Why did you need a place to stay? Why? You could have just slept it out until you drunk off, you slept off whatever you was drinking, and you could have just went right back. What does it sound like to y'all?
Hey, games.
It sounds like it's somebody creating an emergency or some kind of great catastrophe so that they would have the ability to be in my private spaces. That's what it sounds like to me. You went to Tasha K before you came to me. And you didn't want to do the Tasha K show because she sounded like a drunk and whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. And you just had to. I don't know. What's that sound like to y'all?
It sounds like games being played. Damn. Okay.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Starz, nigga. Move. Hey.